There's a story in GQ featuring Scottie Pippen.
The T, baby.
So, Scottie Pippen had this to say about Kevin Durant. Quote, he needs to learn how to utilize his teams. He has to learn how to set up his teammates to be better. That's it. As great as he is, there's a cap to his talent. He could have easily made that three, killed him in regulation, and we wouldn't have been talking about this. But I knew going into overtime he wasn't going to make it. He was taking all the shots. You done played the whole game, bro, and they've got guys physically wearing you down. You're going to lose. More from Scottie. He said, KD can score better than LeBron. Probably always have been able to. But has he surpassed LeBron? Nah. He tried to beat the Milwaukee Bucks instead of utilizing his team. You see what I'm saying? LeBron James would have figured out how to beat them, and he wouldn't have been exhausted. And he may not have taken the last shot. But LeBron ain't KD, and KD ain't LeBron. KD is a shooter, a scorer, but he doesn't have what LeBron has. So that's out there for the world to read. And that means, of course, that Kevin Durant saw it too. And as we've learned about Kevin Durant very closely here, if you say something about KD, he might respond. So he did, of course, with a clapback on Twitter that said this. This guy, Scott, also wanted to enjoy his summer, so he chose to rehab during the season. And then he goes, at Scottie Pippen, they followed Phil, not you. He also said, didn't the great Scottie Pippen refuse to go into the game for the last second shot because he was in his feelings? His coach drew up a play for a better shooter. Now, that's the reference to when Tony Kukoc was given the last shot in the second round of the 94 playoffs, and Kukoc actually made the shot, and they won. They later lost the series, and that ended their championship run without Michael Jordan. But still, that's a famous story about how he just sat at the end of the bench, and they played without him.
Pouted. Because
he wasn't happy that he wasn't getting the shot. So, question is this, is Scottie Pippen wrong about KD?
Yeah, he's wrong for sure. But I also understand what he was trying to say, I think, which is he was really trying to bend around criticizing Michael Jordan. Because what he's saying is, if you read the entire story, guys like Charles Barkley didn't have a whole lot around him and couldn't win. Had Barkley been on the team, he would be able to win. And he kind of went into the Golden State situation where KD had those guys, so he was able to win. And when KD was on the floor by himself, he wasn't able to win. So if you really dive into it and you look at it, what he's saying is Michael Jordan didn't do nothing till he got me and us around him. That's why he kept using the word team. Team, 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 team. Because Michael, obviously, is Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. The hell, what you mean? Mm-hmm. I had a knee sleeve on as a kid and nothing was wrong with my knee because of Michael Jordan, right? I mean, I tried to chew my gum like Michael Jordan, walk like Mike. I had the whole thing. Everybody was Mike. And so what Scottie is trying to say, without being so critical of Michael Jordan and sounding like a true hater, because obviously if you say something about Mike, it ain't the same as saying something about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is low-hanging fruit compared to Michael Jordan when it comes to Scottie Pippen. So that's the way I looked at it, because he kept saying to himself and to us, team, team, team. Basically, Kevin Durant didn't do it that way. He's trying to do it all by himself. Michael Jordan was trying to do it by himself. He couldn't do it. And then when I came along, we won championships. That is what he was saying in the article, if you read through it.
Why you gotta bring KD into that, though? I hear you on that.
Because he's low-hanging fruit for him.
First of all, let's not act like LeBron also did not get hammered for not being the guy to take the final shot. Like, that was a whole thing in terms of, yes, you are a superstar, but do you have the killer instinct? Sure, the right basketball play, but we're looking at you to get it done. So there was that whole thing. So let's not act like LeBron didn't go through that. Second, KD was this close to pulling it off.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how you have negative feedback on your star elevating in the moment. Like, he had to. He was right there. Who was supposed to take that shot? Landry Shamet? Bruce Brown?
No.
Who you want?
No, KD.
So what are we talking about?
Because it isn't really not about KD.
It's
really about Michael.
Okay, so Key, here's where I'm at. If that's the case, then say what you got to say and stop dancing around it. Like, why do you need to bring in a guy that's trying to handle his business, currently in the league, doing his thing, best scorer in the league?
Yes.
Say what you got to say.
No, he should.
Say to y'all, stop doing the last dance as with Mike sitting there the whole time. Let me get my bourbon in my chair, too, because I was an integral part of this story.
And that is what his new book that's coming out.
And that's what this is.
Is a book tour, it's a bourbon tour, it's all of those things. It's promotions. I get it. I understand it.
This is stupid, and it's promotion. Like, stop talking about KD.
I get it. I'm just.
Do you get it? Because I feel like you're going to bat for your man right now.
No, mom. I'm just.
Stop momming me. I'm not old. Throw something at you.
I'm just telling you the way that I'm viewing it and looking at it. Yes, would I like Scottie just to say Mike wasn't the whole damn team? I would love for him to say that.
Yeah, please.
But he's not going to say it that way. So he's going to go at KD in this because it's low-hanging fruit for him in the moment. KD was the one that didn't hit the shot
he was using
at the moment.
Example. Yeah, he was using a current example.
Yeah, current example.
And I took that
because if you go LBJ, like you said, LeBron early on, right? But right now, LeBron is considered by some as the greatest basketball player on earth or the greatest basketball player there ever was. That's hard. That's almost like going at Michael Jordan again. You can't do that if you Scottie Pippen.
Say it with your chest. If you
get it.
Go at Bron, go at MJ, go at Kareem. Like, whoever, do what you got to do.
But can we also point out one thing that was missing from that point? Was the teammates were injured. James Harden wasn't really available.
Exactly.
Kyrie wasn't even in the damn game.
Exactly.
Like he had to do it himself.
I didn't say Scottie, but Allen, I didn't say Scottie was right.
No,
Scottie missed a lot of points.
Scottie is not right. And
wrong.
By the way, Game 5, KD did do what LeBron would do.